Hello, commanders, and welcome to the stream. We are in Lyra's song sector of the galaxy, and we are at a fleet carrier. At least I think we are. It's been a while since I last logged in, and I've not checked to see where we are. But yeah, we're at a fleet carrier, and we're heading to another fleet carrier, which is at the edge of Lyra's song, and in the last but one sector of the tour of the galaxy. Right, let's open up the galaxy map so that you can see what we're doing. Right, okay, so yeah, we are here at this fleet carrier here. We will be heading towards this fleet carrier here. There's I don't think there's anything else for us to go and have a look. Let's have a quick look on the live data, see if there's anything else in there for us to go and see. So this is the Elite Dangerous Astrometrics map. And we'll be travelling between here and here. I don't think there is anything of interest between those two places. Yeah, so nothing. What are their canyons for buckybill races? Yeah, so nothing of interest between there. So let's go back into the game and we will plot the route. So if we go back and right, so I think that dot above us is probably the fleet carrier. We looks like we're in total eclipse at the moment. Yeah, so this system is a black hole system. So even if they weren't in eclipse, it will still be pitch black. But if we look at the system map, we see it's got a black hole, and all the planets are very dark. So right, so let's then plot a route to the next fleet carrier. Right, so the next one is called Cheetah Labs, and that is in this system. So that's our target or our destination. 5,300 light seconds, so that will be about 70, 80 jumps. So I doubt if we're going to get there during this stream, but we will head off in that direction. 75 jumps, so I was spot on with the estimate. And yeah, so we are getting pretty close to the edge. Well, I think we probably are on the edge of the galaxy here. I mean, there's no stars in this sector of the galaxy here beyond about this point. So we are now on the edge of the galaxy. After that, we'll be heading towards the tip of this tip of the spiral arm, which is somewhere over here, and the easternmost point of the galaxy, which is, if we get that vertical, so that's somewhere near there as well. So yeah, so that's somewhere around there. So the tip's about here, and the easternmost point is somewhere around there. And there's also a fleet carrier in that sector as well, which we'll be visiting before turning around and heading back towards Sol. And there's only one sector of the galaxy that we, after this one, that I haven't been in yet, and that is this one here, which is right next to Sol. Oh, I've just crashed into the space station. All right, so it's we're on a slow drift there towards the space station. So let's get away before the space station opens fires. I'll put some more pips towards shields to get them back up. Right, okay. We might as well head off to the to the next system.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, let's have a look, see if anyone's joined us. Nope, nobody's joined us yet. And we'll do a quick sound check. Yeah, so I think last time I streamed I got a massive raid towards the end of it, or it may have been the time before. So yeah, a big thanks to I'm trying to remember his name. I think it was Grinning Crow or something like that. Yeah, Grinning Crow sent me a raid of about 100 people just over a week ago. Right, 20 bodies here. There's a chance there'll be something here to look at. Right, so we are looking for Earth-like worlds, ammonia worlds, and water worlds, which should all appear in that region there. Not seeing anything there at the moment, so we'll just go on to the next system. Yeah, I've found very little between the last two fleet carriers. I probably only stopped to scan 2 or 3 systems, and none of them had much in the way of life. So I didn't actually visit any planets. If I start getting back towards Sol without reaching my target of 1,000 plants scanned, I will spend a little bit more time in the last sector. I know there is a lot of Guardian stuff in that sector. Music. Why has music just started up? Right, okay. Why has music just started up? Ah, right, no, I know. Right. I went onto Twitch, and that was the Elite Dangerous music. Yeah, to see what Grinning Crow's name was. Right, okay, so nothing here either, so straight off to the next sector. Yeah, as we get closer to the edge of this sector, we'll start seeing fewer and fewer stars in the sky. The next fleet carrier is, I won't say right on the edge, but it's pretty close to the edge of the galaxy.
System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete.
And nothing at all there. Yeah, so after this next fleet carrier, I think I'm going to target the easternmost point of the galaxy. I haven't really had a look there yet to see. I haven't got a clue what that star is actually going to be. Right. Right, I have just had a look on the Elite Dangerous Astrometrics map, and there is one star which is obviously further east than any other ones, so that will be the one that we target.
Fuel scoping complete.
Right, so what have we got in this system?
System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Right, I just realised my mic has been up for a while, so I'm not actually said very much, but yeah, I'm not finding anything really of interest yet.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Hello and welcome to the stream. We are touring the galaxy. We are out pretty close to the tip of the spiral arm that's at the easternmost side of the galaxy. Heading towards a fleet carrier. So welcome, how do I pronounce that? Inusuk 68. I'm not sure if that's correct, but yeah, welcome to the stream. So I've been touring the galaxy now for I started this tour in July 2021, I think. Yeah, July 2021. So it's been over a year now. I did spend 2 months in Colonia and 2 months in the bubble, and just continuing the last bit after the bubble. Let me show you what the galaxy map looks like, so you can see where I've been. So yeah, so we started off in Sol, headed to the tip of this spiral arm here, and then followed that around to the middle, out at the back of the middle, all the way around to Beagle Point, then followed hot-footed it from the tip of this spiral arm to the tip of this one, over here to the westernmost point of the galaxy. So I covered the southernmost point of the galaxy there, the northernmost point there, and then the westernmost point there. So yeah, so we followed that spiral arm in. I got to Colonia. I spent 2 months there, getting the Odyssey engineers and skilling up in the mercenary, and then went to the centre. Then from the centre we followed the spiral arm round to here, which is it's in the butterfly sector, so the beta site not butterfly, jellyfish sector of the galaxy. So that's where I stopped, and then went to the bubble. Spent 2 months in the bubble fighting Vargoids. Fed up with all the bugs, so I came back to the same location, and we continued a tour of the galaxy. So there was another fleet carrier here, which isn't on my map, that I went to. Each one of these is a fleet carrier. We are currently at this fleet carrier here, heading towards this one. I will then go to the easternmost point of the galaxy, then the tip of this spiral arm, then that fleet carrier, and then I will head back towards this sector of the galaxy, which is the outer Orion Spur, which is the last sector in the tour, and back to Sol. So I'm aiming to scan 1,000 plants before I get back there, and I'm currently at about 950. So let's actually see what I am at. So if we go to the codex, pronunciation sucks. Yeah, I'm not very good at names. So how would that be? That would be Inusuk. Inusuk, 68. Yeah. Right. Okay. So how far am I with the xenobiology? I'm already at Xeno Elite, and yeah, so I am at precisely 950. So I've got to scan another 50 plants. So far on this leg of the galaxy, since I set off, I've only scanned 26. So and we're about a quarter of the way. So hopefully we'll get some enough by the time we get back. Right, next jump. Right, so I'm guessing you're an Elite Dangerous player. But then again, you could have just picked up Commander from my name. And okay, so the name's not a commonly known name. That's
Fuel scoping.
that's useful to know.
Fuel scoping complete.
9 bodies in this system. Yeah, they're all small ones.
Frameshift drive.
I think I will stop and scan any systems that has a large amount of planets. So if we hit anything that's sort of above 20, I think I'll stop and scan those, just because it's so unlikely that we're going to find a anything with plant life on it, with water worlds and ammonia worlds or Earth-likes.
Fuel scoping.
So what kind of gameplay are you playing? Are you getting involved with the Fargoid War? Or are you just trying to stay clear of that as much as possible?
Warning. Temperature critical.
So eight bodies here. And judging by the fact that they're all shown on my radar, they are either all stars or this system's been visited before. So yeah, I think the system's been visited before. Oh, a little bit too soon. Want to cool down a little bit before I make the next jump. Only 50 light years.
Frameshift drive charge.
So yeah, so we must be getting to the point where stars are thinning out. This ship's got a jump range of 77, and yeah, when the stars get further apart, you occasionally have to do shorter jumps because there's nothing in the area at the right distance. Yes, that's the first time I've seen a jump for anything sort of below 70 for a while, so we must be getting pretty close to the edge of the galaxy now.
Fuel scoping.
Right, 10 bodies. Again, the system is being scanned before because all the planets are showing up on my radar straight away before I scan the system. You do find this when you get to areas of the galaxy where there are fewer stars, because there are fewer routes to do. The stars that do get visited more often. Whereas if you're in the centre of the galaxy, there are a lot of different ways between 2 different places. But here, there's probably only one route between the 2 space stations that I'm travelling between. I might do some evacuation missions. Yeah, I haven't done any on the Fargoid War. I've done some before, but yeah, I might do some more of those. I was hoping to do the power-up missions before I left. I'm not sure if they've fixed the bug with that yet, but there was a bug in that about four out of every 5 missions that you do to turn the power on has already got the power turned on when you get there, and then you've then taken a power distributor from the mission giver, and because you then have to fail that mission, you get a 10,000 credit fine. So yeah, so I took about 12 of those missions on and only managed to complete about 3 of them. And so I got frustrated with that. I was then going to go and do some trading, but there was a bug with the fleet carriers, and the fleet carriers couldn't actually jump, so I got frustrated with that as well. So I decided to head off back on the tour of the galaxy and finish that. I'm hoping to get back in the bubble before update 15.
Fuel scoping.
So it's the 1st of March now. I set off about 2 weeks ago, and I'm sort of due to get back into the bubble for sort of beginning of April. And I think the update is currently scheduled for mid-April. So hopefully I'll be back in the bubble for whatever update 15 holds. Yeah, so yeah, Beagle Point is very dark. When I've done this tour, there's only 2 places in the galaxy I haven't really been to, and that is the top and the bottom. I know to get to the top of the galaxy, you need a fleet carrier. I didn't really fancy taking my fleet carrier out that far, but I may go out and see if I can grab a ride on a fleet carrier. I know at one point there was a huge traffic jam. I can't remember the name of the system, but to get to the top star that's accessible in the solar system, there is one star you can jump from, and it's nearly 500 light years to the top star, but you can only leave from one system. And there was a traffic jam in that system because there were too many fleet carriers trying to make the jump, and people couldn't jump out from the furthest star back to that system because it was full, and they couldn't get into the furthest system because that was full as well. So yeah, there's a real problem there with traffic. I'm not sure if that has been resolved, but yeah, I might try and go there. The brightness near the core. Yeah, so when I got to elite in exploration, I did that around the core, and basically I set back then. This was before fleet carriers, and it was also before the system where you scan planets. So basically, you're still getting most of the money from scanning stars, and the most expensive stars were black holes and neutron stars. And I just set my route to go through all the non-sequential stars, and you could probably hit about 20 or 30 of those before having to go to a starter fuel. And yeah, that was all around the it's just the other side of the center of the galaxy, between between Colonia and the core. Colonia wasn't called Colonia back then. It was just the one space station that was out there back then. And yeah, so that I used that as a base to do that, and did quite a lot of exploration around there. Can I ask if Twitch drops are working for you? I should be streaming I think it's the Cobra Mark III yellow winter paint job. I can't remember what that's called. But I've not been able to establish yet whether Twitch drops are working. Again, you may have got it already if you've been watching a lot of Elite Dangerous streams. Yeah, so there's a lot of planets here again, but all of them are showing on my radar, so it's been visited before. Right, 55 jumps to get there. So that's 20 jumps in. So I've done 20 jumps in half an hour.
Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Yeah, theoretically, everybody who streams Elite Dangerous can have one has one Twitch drop. I think it's per month or maybe per season. And the if you're one of the big streamers, you get 4. But I think currently it is a yellow Mark II Mark III Cobra that is the one that you can get from streaming anybody. I turned the option on for Twitch drops. But yeah, I've not been able to actually ascertain yet whether it's working. And I wonder if I can watch myself. Let me try logging in as myself. See. So I'm not sure if I can actually watch my own stream. Alright, just a minute. I can't remember what the URL is for my my own stream. I can't. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to work that out. Right, so getting a lot of planets there, but all small ones. Yeah, Mark IV is pretty rare as well. I bought Horizons 2 days after the limited availability of the Mark IV Cobra. So the Mark IV Cobra is the only one I don't have. I think you can get it. I think you can get the Mark IV Cobra still if you're on Xbox or PlayStation. But for PC, it was a limited time offer during the first release of Horizons, which was the I think it was paid. Yeah, there was a Horizons. The first Horizons was a paid update, and when it first came out, there wasn't really anything in it that was any use other than driving around planets pointlessly. So I didn't buy Horizons until they till after the first update, when they actually gave a point for driving around on the planets.
Fuel
So I think that was possibly Engineers, when Engineers first came out, because yeah, so you could actually drive around on planets and collect resources before Engineers became available. But the only thing you could do with those resources was synthesize stuff, and there wasn't a lot back then you could synthesize. So yeah, it was pretty pointless having horizons in the very early days. Right, let's see how many planets we've got here.
Fuel scoping.
3. 3 small planets, or 1 small planet and 2 stars.
Frameshift drive charging.
So what's the lifetime pass? Is that an Xbox thing?
Fuel scoping.
Oh, were you one of the I know it's available to
Scoping complete.
people who are involved with the Kickstarter stuff. So is that the lifetime passing part of the Kickstarter? Right, how many were there? 8. Let's scan something. I haven't scanned anything yet on this stream. I doubt if there'll be any life on there, but let's just scan something anyway. So yeah, there's nothing on that one. Nothing on that one.
System scan.
Right, okay, so nothing. Didn't really expect to see anything. Right, you didn't get on board with the Kickstarter. Yeah, I played the original Elite a lot as well. I don't remember the lifetime pass becoming available. I have heard of it. I assumed it was an Xbox thing. I'm assuming that means you get free updates. You didn't have to pay for Odyssey.
Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, so I played the original Elite back in the early 80s on the Spectrum. I've got 2 different versions of it for the Spectrum. I also played it, the original Elite, on my first PC, which was a black and white laptop. Yeah, so again, I've done a couple of betas, but I've not actually paid for the betas. Then I played Frontier when that was released in the early 90s, and First Contact when that was released. I still think oh, we got a planet worth scanning. I still think First Contact was the worst worst of them all. It was nice to have those videos in First Contact, but there were a lot of bugs in it, and this was before the internet, so it wasn't easy to get patches. Actually, it wasn't before the internet, it was probably right at the very beginning of the internet. It was before we had the internet. Yeah, I had a friend who played Frontier on the Amiga. He actually went to Sagittarius A on the Amiga version, but he did discover that there was a bug in there that oh, we have a planet to go and visit. So that is B1, and that had one biological signal on it, so that's probably just bacteria. Yeah, on the Amiga he discovered that if you chose to jump, I think it was like 350 light years, you could do it in one go. So and again, if you then went up to like 500 light years, you could do that in one go as well. So actually, it was multiple. It'd be 700 light years. So yeah, if you were trying to jump a distance which were multiples of 700 light years, you could get around quite quickly. So there's another one on there. Okay, that's probably just bacteria. Nothing there. Alright, that looks like the water world.
System scan complete.
Right, let's see how far away they are. If they're ridiculously far, then I won't bother. But 5,000 light seconds, that should be okay. Just check that's the right one. Yeah, so it was B1 and B4 that had the biological signals. So we'll head off to those. Let me just look for something. Right. It doesn't look like that's going to work. I actually have Frontier installed on this computer. Not Frontier, First Encounters. Or at least I have the files on this computer, but they won't run. So I've just gone to Windows 11. They used to run on Windows 10, but it doesn't look like they run on Windows 11 anymore. The right, I've got to check every single world. I've gone a long way, realizing that if I tried to check every single world, it would take a hell of a long time. And again, I don't need exploration data anymore because I'm 5-star elite in exploration, so it's only just really those last few plants that I need to scan. But yeah, I will start scanning more and more if I get towards the end and I haven't reached the 1,000 goal. Alright, so that other planet's close enough to scan even if there's nothing on this one. Chances are it's bacteria.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Yeah, it's bacteria, so I'm not bothered about going to search for that. There's not even a lot of it there. Let's just scan the other planet before we head off to the 4th one. Right, that should cover that. I don't really care. I don't need to be looking at that, so we'll just
by 50%.
go to planet 4. So you put old. This isn't even funny anymore. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that. Get decent frame rates. Yes. So I have had to upgrade the computer to get a decent frame rate. I did. I was running on quite an old one. And I did upgrade to a GTX 360, which did improve it, but I was still getting sub 10 frames a second on conflict zones in Odyssey. But now I'm getting a solid 60 frames per second, which is limited by my monitor. I'm pretty sure that if I set it up so it didn't limit it to what my monitor could do, I could be getting sort of double that for this sort of stuff. On the planet, when in the conflict zone, I now get about 50 frames a second, so it does drop a little bit. But I have got the settings set to maximum, so I could improve that by dropping the settings a little bit. Right, so we have another binary planet. Yeah, so when I was getting 2 frames, sort of 5-6 frames a second in conflict zones, yeah, it was painful. I couldn't. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't stream a lot of the time while I was at Colonia. because it was so painfully slow that I basically just couldn't do it.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Right, okay, there's a lot of bacteria there. I think I might just go down and have a look. So I'm not likely to see anything else on the stream. So I want to find a nice flat region. Make it easy to move around. I don't normally go down and search if there's any bacteria there, but yeah, we're not very likely to find anything else today. Alright, so let's land somewhere near that big crater there. I think that's, yeah, that's sort of maximum. Yeah, I try to land on just the day side of the night and day line on the planet. The reason is you get some nice sunsets or sunrises. So it looks like this is probably a nitrogen planet with a blue atmosphere. And if we land, we might just try and land just outside the shadow of that crater. Oh, the shadow of the crater is moving as we're getting closer. And it's also not looking very flat. Yeah, I'd rather go somewhere flat. Yeah, so none of it looks very flat, and the closer we get, the less flat it appears. That means it's going to be really hard to try and find bacteria. I suppose we could fly around a bit till we see some. There we go, there's some just there. It's a nice, easy to see green colour. And what do we have in the way of sunset? Yeah, we're just a little bit too...
Landing gear deployed.
a little bit too high for a good sunset. There's a bottom of the planet, the other planet there. I'll get the SRV out, I don't want to walk over. So,
Low gravity warning.
right, so the bacteria is here. See, we're still getting full,
Drive assist off.
almost solid 60 frames a second. Right, what kind of bacteria have we got here? Bacterium Cerberus green, so that's quite a common one. Cerberus green, so I found 10 of those now. No, see, yeah, it's because we're seeing the whole of the galaxy there, and because we're right on the edge of it. Go for a little flybe and see if we can find a few more bits of bacteria. Oh, I've got the... Yeah, it must be on quite a high G. Yeah, it's 0.4, 0.42 G. Is that a bit there? Oh yeah, we've got some here. Can I actually see that?
Assist off.
So do I have an up to date price on this? Yes, I do. So this is worth 1.6 million. Oh, there's loads and loads of it all over the place. I did see some back there, but I think that was probably too close to the last lot. Yeah, we have another huge patch.
Drive assist off.
Alright, so it's time to do a screenshot. I'd love to know why bacteria, sometimes you have to stand back a little bit from it to be able to scan it. It only ever happens with bacteria. Right, so what will the screenshot be? Let's do a. Let's go with that, I think. I'll turn the frame rate off. Take the screenshot. Right, so I'll just save that. So I've got to find out what's the name of the planet that we're on. Right, okay, so that's saved. Oh, so you've had SPS issues with Odyssey beta. Yeah, I think it was even worse in the beta, wasn't it? I couldn't sort of move around at all in the beta, but it wasn't until after I started the tour of the galaxy that I updated my graphics card, and then it wasn't until I got to Colonia that I updated the computer as well. The Terminator is a nice place, moving shadows and all on planets with rotation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by the Terminator. Do you mean the Annihilator? Anaconda finding. Right, so that was the third scan, and the screenshot saved. So back to the ship. Yeah, so the paint job on the ship is it was the last one that came from the Elite Dangerous stream. There is a yellow version of that as well, which is the one that you can get from the big elite dangerous streamers.
Drive assist off.
Power plant capacity exceeded. Landing gear retracted.
Yeah, so that wasn't too much of a hassle to find the bacteria there. Sometimes it's really hard to find, so I normally don't just stop if all that's on the planet is bacteria.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Actually, it looks like the next system is within range.
Frameshift drive charging.
Not in range, it's not being blocked by the planet. So 47 jumps to go. So yeah, that's about an hour. Unless we find something interesting, and then it'll be could be a lot longer.
Fuel scoping.
Alright, so you call the line between night and day the Terminator. Yeah, not heard that phrase before. But yeah, it's a good place to land if you want to get a good screenshot.
Complete. System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, just 2 stars here. Yeah, so if you click on the About section on my Twitch page, you'll see links to the galaxy map, and you can click on all the dots on there and see the screenshots for all the different planets I've landed on. I try to do at least 1 screenshot for each planet I land on, and if I find something else interesting, I may take another one.
Fuel scoping complete.
Right, 14 bodies here. Okay, we ain't got anything we want to scan? Nope.
Frameshift drive charging.
So I'm not sure if the next fleet carrier is in this sector or the next one, but it's pretty close to the corner of this sector.
Engage. Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete.
Right. So what do we have here? 3 bodies, all stars by the looks of it. Yeah.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I was just seeing if anybody left any comments on the posts that I sent out to Mark at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, before I left the bubble, I planned to sell all the stuff off my fleet carrier.
Fuel
So
scoping
I've got about 2 billion worth of mining resources that I bought while I've been touring the galaxy.
charging.
And yeah, I couldn't actually move the fleet carrier to the location where I wanted to sell it, so I gave up on that. Actually, let's have a look to see if I can move my fleet carrier now.
2, 1, engage.
So I want to move it back to the system where I buy and sell stuff. I've got the fleet carrier set up for,
Fuel scoping.
or while I was in the bubble, I had it set up for combat.
Fuel scoping.
And all right, yeah. So let's see if we can sort the fleet carrier out. Right. So go to navigation and galaxy map, and this is the location where I normally have it for mining. And hopefully I can get it around planet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, the closer to there I can get it, the better. So can I set carrier destination? No free slots. Let's see if there's anything in that system that is available rather than just that planet. Set carrier destination. All right, so it can go to the system, so it looks like it is working again. I want to cancel that though, because I don't want to be a random place in the system. I want to be at a set place in the system. Right, so cancelled carrier jump. See if we can get a little bit closer to planet 5. All right, so yeah, planet 5 is the best one because it has a can't remember if it's a double or a triple platinum overlap. But I can't. You normally get that red signal next to it to say that it's full. I'll just wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, it's this one we want to be at. So can we set that? Right, no valid carrier locations. Well, that's saying there is a valid carrier location. Can we? That's saying there's a valid carrier location as well. All right, let's just click on there. Try that again. Fleet carrier request failed. No free slots. Right, so you sometimes get that if because the maps are the maps don't update as often as fleet carriers can jump in and out. Let's try it on this one over here. See if we can jump it to there. Yeah, that will do. That's about 200 light seconds away from the thing. So I now need to go back in and turn on my buying options again. So that's from the haven't done this for a while. So market manager and right, set to buy. Platinum trade. Has the numbers changed in their buying price? Let me just have a look to see what buying price I should be setting that to. Right, so for platinum, I should be setting the buying price to 227 credits. So that buying price there is the. Is that the right one? That's not the price I should be setting it to. Been a long time since I set the prices. I can't remember precisely what it should be that I set it to. Right, okay, so yeah, it's 227. So that is a lot above the market average, which is what the best buying price came up as. So 220. I'll set it for 225. Be on the safe side. Yeah, that's a lot above the galactic average, but you can normally sell it for around 500. So I'm almost doubling my. Do 500. Yeah, so there we go. So I'll set that to buy there, and I'll work out the rest of the prices later. So I'll just put all the money I have all the spaces I have available for buying into platinum. Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's set up to buy platinum again. Let me just double check what the sort of maximum and minimum buying prices are for this at the moment. I'll show you that. So on the screen. Yeah. So platinum. So. Oh, just a minute. That is the max. Right. So the max selling price is 280 at the moment. So I think I've probably set that too high. Actually, 280 is yeah. So 280 is a pretty standard. So I'll set it to buy at 225. So yeah, I'll make about 40,000 credits per ton, which is pretty good considering all I have to do is then go and sell it, and you can sell it quite quickly. So. Yeah, that's how I managed to get to trade 5-star elite just by selling the platinum that people had sold me, and I did that in 4 hours. Right, okay, that's the fleet carrier set up. Yeah, so the reason people sell there is because it can take quite a while to after you've been to that system and you've mined all your platinum, it can take quite a while to find somewhere to sell it. And if you're in a hurry, then it's going to save you the time to sell it locally rather than hunt around for somewhere to sell it to. Actually, one thing on the fleet carrier, I did set it to not allow people to land, so that's not going to be very useful. So let's turn that back on so people can actually land on it.
Fuel scoping.
Right, let's finish refueling.
Fuel scoping complete.
Right, let's just go. I can't remember how to do this now. Is it in the summary? Carrier services. Oh, it's probably settings. Right, squadron only. Yes, I'll just set that to all. Notorious not allowed. I'll leave that like that. Set it back up for mining. Illegal equipment trading not allowed. Yeah, right. So yeah, people can land on my fleet carrier again and sell me stuff. I think I've also got the bartender set up to buy or sell stuff as well. How did I set up the bartender? All right, so I haven't actually set it to buy or sell. I'm just using it for extra storage. Because yeah, the bartender can store as much stuff as you can. So yeah, it gives you extra storage for storing things. Right, okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
On the last, I think it was the last fleet carriers on, I actually bought loads of power regulators from the bartender because there were a lot for sale, and I was down to my last two. So I stocked up. Right, let's press on now, see if we can get to that fleet carrier before
Fuel scoping.
the end of the stream.
Fuel scoping complete.
See, David Jones has just logged on. He's one of the guys from the
Frameshift drive charging.
anti-Xeno initiative that I was fighting with in the war in the Fargoids. Yeah, if you are into combat, it isn't that hard now to get a ship that is reasonable for fighting Fargoids. You don't have to do all the Guardian stuff to unlock the Guardian weapons. There's a lot of stuff available from the rescue ships,
Fuel scoping.
and
System scan.
actually there is a planet that
Fuel scoping complete.
has some anti-Xeno stuff as well, but you do need a few blueprints to get those.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Right, 16 bodies here. Yeah, nothing in the region we're interested in.
Shift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping.
Alright, so looks like someone's been to this system before. There's several planets in the radar.
Fuel scoping complete. Frame shift drive charging.
Yeah, I try not to travel directly between fleet carriers. I try to pick something in between normally. But because we're this far out towards the edge of the galaxy, there wasn't really anything useful to go and visit. So I am travelling a well-travelled line between two fleet carriers, which means I'm probably going to hit a lot of stars that people have already visited. Particularly as there aren't that many stars
Fuel scoping.
around.
System scan complete.
So yeah, no planets in this system.
Fuel scoping complete. Frame shift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Incoming message.
Another thing I plan to do when I get back to the ball is
System scan.
mess around with my AFK ship. I have a Type 10 set up with long-range lasers, and if you pop that in a low intensity zone in a ring, you'll get regular small ships come and attack you,
Frame shift drive.
and you can just leave it there, and the lasers will take care of them. And the idea there is you pick up a nice mission to kill sort of 90 or 100 pirates, and you just leave it there and let it do it by itself. I did run it before with my old graphics card. That was before the Odyssey came out, and I only lost one ship. So I'm not quite sure why I lost a ship, because I obviously wasn't watching. But yeah, you could just leave the computer running, and pirates will come and commit suicide on your long distance lasers, and you can rack up a lot of money, and hopefully more importantly experience, without actually doing anything. Apparently the Type 10 is the best ship for doing that. You do need a ship that has pretty good shields. And the Type 10 is the Type 10 and the Imperial cutter are the only two that can have size 8 shields. So, but the Type 10 has better placements for its laser beams. So.
Frame shift drive charging.
So I might have a play with that when I get back as well, because I'm planning on scaling up more on the combat. I'm nearly at elite 1 star, which I'll probably get 2 with anti-Xeno stuff. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to try doing anti-Xeno stuff with an AFK ship. I am currently running it with a fighter, but I'll get rid of that, because last time I was running it for money. So next time I'll be running it for ranking up. And if you have a fighter, the fighter pilot takes part of the ranking off you, as well as part of the money for the rewards.
Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Yep, so nothing there.
System scan complete. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Right, what do we have here? Just a star.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
So nothing there either.
Charging. Fuel scoping.
Right, 9 bodies.
Fuel scoping complete.
Nothing on my radar, so probably not been scanned before. Just a few small planets there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, there's definitely fewer stars in the sky than there were at the start of this stream.
scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Ooh, we have a... Is it ammonia world? Ammonia world. Right, well, that's the ammonia world. One biology. We're on B3 there. Nothing there, so there's only eight bodies. Right, one to land on, definitely there. B2, and there's two on that one. Nothing there. And anything there.
System scan.
Right, okay, so let's head off to B2 and B3. Right, so that's 13,000 light seconds. So it's going to take us a couple of minutes to get there. Let's put the news on. I've not listened to any news for a while.
Explorers needed for Ammonia World Survey. Pilots Federation alert. Universal Cartographics has announced a 2-week initiative to locate planets with ammonia atmospheres. The survey was outlined by Cynthia Sideris, chairperson of Universal Cartographics. Aegis has urgently requested an update to our database of terrestrial planets with ammonia atmospheres. It is no coincidence that each maelstrom is located in a system containing such worlds, given that Thargoid biochemistry is ammonia-based. We are therefore liaising with Aegis to chart as many ammonia worlds as possible. As well as contributing to xenological research, our intent is to identify potential staging grounds for Thargoid fleets and arrival points for additional maelstroms. Over the next 2 weeks, pilots can obtain increased payouts for delivering cartographic survey data to Anger's Manwaring starport in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Only Ammonia World data will be recognized for the purpose of the survey campaign, however, with detailed surface scans particularly appreciated. As an incentive...
Right, okay, that's interesting. So there's extra exploration money available, exploration data money available for ammonia planets, so we've just found one. Unfortunately, I won't be back in the bubble within the next 2 weeks to take advantage of that.
For participation, general cartographic data payouts will be multiplied for a further period if the initiative is successful. The multiplier will depend on the campaign tier achieved. The most recent survey of this kind took place in 3306, when Sirius Atmospherics claimed to be developing a method of terraforming ammonia worlds for human habitation. Dr. Maximilian North has since stated that the project is on hold following practical obstacles impacting our ecosphere conversion theories. Caustic sink.
Okay, that's I hadn't heard about for a while. The experiments to terraform ammonia worlds. So I'm sure that's not going to annoy the Thargoids in any way if we go around trying to destroy all their ammonia worlds and convert them into nitrogen or oxygen planets.
Launcher aids Maelstrom exploration. Pilots Federation alert. Aegis's initiative in the Duanta system has kick-started production of a ship module designed for caustic environments. Shipments of advanced catalyzers, heat sink interlinks and palladium were delivered following a request from Professor Albert Tesreau. Pilots also provided tissue samples extracted from the caustic generators inside each maelstrom, which are a vital component of these modules. Manufacturing bases have now been established, allowing stocks of the caustic sink launcher to reach the public market. Dr. Maximo Fonseca, head of xenological research at Gateway Laboratories, published a statement on behalf of Aegis. The Thargoids have developed powerful defenses to prevent their enemies reaching the heart of the maelstroms. The dangerously caustic gas clouds are an effective deterrent and have sadly claimed the lives of many intrepid pilots. So, the caustic sink launcher is an exciting breakthrough that will both save lives and facilitate vital data recovery. Now that ships...
That's interesting as well. So anti-caustic modules for ships. I did go to a couple of maelstroms and look at the emitters. As far as I remember, they weren't selectable, so you couldn't actually select them as targets. So I'm not sure if that's changed now, and if they're asking for tissue samples from them, then presumably they must now be selectable. So yeah, that's another interesting anti-xeno activity to get involved with. I did do a stream from the first time I went to a maelstrom. And it wasn't the caustic damage that killed me, it was the as you get closer to the center, it hits you with a field which kicks you out of the maelstrom, and it's that killed me every time. So this is B2. This is the one that has 2 forms of biology in it, so we're going to be landing here. I wonder why that too fast to deploy messages started appearing off the top of the screen. So this is probably going to be bacteria and one other thing. Let's see what the other thing is.
Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan.
So yeah, bacteria and stratum, which is common pairing. So we can find a nice area to land with high intensity of stratum. Actually, is the bacteria in the same location? Yeah, it is. Right, that looks like it's... Is it flat? Looks like a good
Orbital
place.
flight engaged.
Yeah, I did a bit of experiments with the maelstrom to see how big they are and how thick the caustic cloud is between the edge and the point where it kicks you out. And so the radius of the maelstrom, of the outer edge of the cloud, is somewhere between 75 and 85 kilometers, and the cloud seems to extend in for about 20 kilometers, although it's really hard to tell because when you're near a maelstrom, your scanners start malfunctioning, and the actual center of the maelstrom keeps moving. So yeah, so I got to within I think it said I got to within about 15 kilometers of the center, but then at the point when it kicked me out, because I got too close to the center, I was actually at about 65 kilometers. So yeah, the center of the maelstrom is a hard place to track down. Right, let's see what we can find. I did see some stratum. It looks like tectonics, which is good because that's worth 19 million a pop. It's going to be yellow or lime or something like that. Lime. Stratum. Is it tectonic? Lime. So that's the 27th one of those I found. We got a good screenshot. Not particularly. The paint job on my SRV is working again now. When I set off on the tour, the paint jobs. Actually, I don't think I've got the livery fixed yet, but the paint jobs on the SRV disappeared. I think the reason for that is possibly because I unequipped the vehicle bay. So even though they are the same SRVs, because the vehicle bay was unequipped, it's lost its memory of what the paint job was.
Drive assist off.
Is the livery on there? Yeah, so it's got the 3-star elite icon there. It's got the xenobiology on that side and the 5-star combat 5-star combat one on that side. That's not combat, is it? That's exploration. 5-star exploration. Bacteria down there as well. See a few spots of bacteria around. So
Drive assist off.
right, I think this is probably going to be the best place for the screenshot. So let me scan that. Right, so that was the sample complete. Right, let's turn my lights on and we'll look for a screenshot. If I go up a bit, we should get a nice sunset. Yeah, off. Get back a little bit more and down a little bit. Try and get a bit more of the sky in there. Try and use the rule of thirds as well. It's pretty close. The sun and the stratum are about a thirds. Right, print screen. We'll get the name of the planet as well, so that we can name the file. Right, so we're next to the bacterium, so we'll go and scan that. So this looks like more the same than we had on the last planet. Cerberus green. Right, so 11 of those as well now. Right, I saw some more bacteria over here, I think. Is that going to be far enough away? There it is down there. I don't think that was far enough away. So I'll just keep going. Some in front there.
Drive assist off.
Alright, so that's 2 of those. Just one more to go. Right, so that was one there. I think that was too close. We'll just go a little bit further, hopefully. I think there's some down there. There we go.
Drive assist off.
Right, so that is complete. And right, let's back to the ship now. Right, back on the ship. So we've got the other planet, which was B3. That only had 1 item on it. If that's bacteria, I'll leave that.
Drive assist off.
free. I want to go vertically up a little bit more. Till I get a bit more altitude. That should be high enough. Right, 900 light seconds. Yeah, beginning to pick up speed a little bit now after we've got out the gravity well of that last planet. Right, let's see what's on this planet.
Surface scan by 50%.
Yeah, just bacteria. Alright, so I'm going to skip that and head off to the next planet. We have 27 more jumps to go,
Frameshift drive charging.
which is probably more than I have time in which to do them in this stream, but we'll continue anyway.
4, 3,
Yeah, so in the next stream, I'll be getting
Fuel scooping
probably to thin space, right on the edge of the galaxy, where you can't make direct jumps to everywhere you want to go to. And that gets interesting because you could end up on a planet, in a system where you can't refuel without enough fuel to get back. So you have to be a bit careful, and you have to use frameshift drive injection regularly to make it over the gaps where the stars become further than your jump range. I'm pretty well stocked up on resources for frameshift drive injections, so I don't anticipate any problems.
fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. System scan complete.
So just 2 stars in the system, no need to scan it.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping.
Right, 9 bodies here. All the planets are being displayed on my radar, so this has been visited before.
Frameshift drive charging.
Actually, that planet we just landed on and scanned the planets, I didn't check to see if that had been previously landed on before. Hopefully not, because that will. I think we're getting. I think getting 4 times the money if you're the first person to find something.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Yeah, nothing in this system. Just gonna get away from the star a little bit before we set off to the next one. There we go.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
Yeah, nothing in this system. So 20 jumps
Frameshift drive charging.
to get to the fleet carrier. I've just been told I only have 15 minutes left, which means we definitely won't be making it to the fleet carrier in this stream. But we'll see how far we can get. I should get another 10 jumps in at least.
Engage. Fuel scoping. System scan complete. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. System scan complete. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping
So
complete.
that says there's one body. So again, that's the system fully scanned. Don't need to
Frameshift drive charging.
look at the scanner.
Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Warning, temperature critical.
18 bodies. Okay, that's quite a lot for out here. And it looks like there's something there possibly worth scanning. So just let's go somewhere a little bit cooler, a bit further away from the star. A water world. So nothing on that one. One biology there, so B1. B2. Nothing. Nothing on B3 either. Right, nothing there either. What else do we have? Nothing on that one. Nothing on that. That's the water world. Oh, one then there as well. So we've got two biology in the system. So that's A7. Nothing in that one. Six. So we've got A4A, it's got 6 on it. A4A, got 6 on it. Okay. And the last one, which is probably going to be A4.
System scan complete.
Right. So let's go to, so the first one was, A4A is the first one. Right, okay. So we will head over there. Then I think I'll scan the planet and call it a day. I've only got like 5 minutes left anyway. So let's see if there's someone to send you on a raid to. Right, okay, so we have Father Bill. Right, I think I'm going to send you on a raid to Father Bill. He is one of the people who you can get all the Twitch drops from. So yeah, it's going to take a couple of minutes to get to that planet. So let's send you over to Father Bill. Alright, so I'm not sure if you're still with me or you've gone over to Father Bill. I'm watching Father Bill at the moment and it seems blank. So, right, I don't know why Father Bill's blank. It's not blank.
You had
Right,
a good
okay.
stream? It's 1826, excuse me. Welcome.
Right. So I can't actually talk to Father Bell because it's verified accounts only, and to verify your account you need a mobile phone.
Orbital flight engaged. Surface scan by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Right.
Okay, pushing in.
Welcome aboard, Commander.
Right, so I'm gonna land then, and then that looks like a bigger area to land on there. It's also nice and flat. Well, level. Whether it's flat or not remains to be seen. So, so there were two life forms in this location. I think it was Fungoida and Tussock. And possibly more. And there's something there. Oh, it's Cactoida. Cactoida. Okay.
We have enemy spec ops in the area. Stay alert.
Need to focus on them as soon as we finish this guy.
Understood.
Right, that's probably Father Bill you're hearing in the background. Right, I'm going to stop my stream there. I've landed. I've got things to go and scan next time. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon. I should be streaming again soon, heading even closer to the edge of the galaxy and to the easternmost tip of the galaxy. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.